Welcome to the latest episode of Mystery Unsolved. I'm, of course, your host, and here we are for tonight's latest episode. You will notice I have a light here for the TV, and I have another light right here. So the lighting is good, and I'm ready to go. And hopefully I still can let this cough, but hopefully I can get rid of it. All right. Tonight's episode is on the Tromp family, not Trump, Tromp. And it's another weird, it's a disappearance case, but it's a really strange disappearance case because these people went missing, but I think they came back. I have no idea. I just remember hearing about it on BuzzFeed Unsolved. Ryan and Shane had done it, and it was so bizarre that I was like, I have to do this. Two things, full disclosure. If at any point this video times out and you just see me frozen, that's because my tablet decided to randomly shut itself off, which it's done several times now during live feeds. So if it does that, I do apologize. On two separate occasions, I was able to somehow turn the tablet back on and resume my live. So hopefully I can do that again in the event that it does it. But fingers crossed that it doesn't actually do that. But I still have to mention it. Also, I mentioned last week that this was the season finale. I don't even know if that's true. I think I might consider doing two more. Not really sure because there's only 6 episodes so far in this season, which would be the lowest amount of episodes I've ever had during a season. I had to eliminate 2 other episodes because I just didn't have enough information, or I just wasn't really feeling the case. So, with that being said, I might extend. We're in season 12. Can you believe that? Season 12 of Mystery Unsolved. So I might actually extend this for another 2 weeks. But then, if I do decide to extend, that means I will be getting into mystery ghost stories after that. So, plenty to look forward from me. Without further ado, as I stop rambling about random stuff, ladies and gentlemen, Mystery Unsolved, the Tromp family. So the crazy part is I don't have. Actually, wait a minute. Hold up. I looked up. I tried to look it up on my usual site, but they give me a totally other, even more disturbing case. What the flippin' hell is this? Oh God. Well, we're not doing that case. It gives me Trump. Of course it does. Okay. So, yeah, the usual site where I look up cases, not here. Don't got one. But this is a fairly new case, so that's probably why. And like I said, it's very unique, as you will find out when I read it eventually. I could. The first place it shows is Reddit, and I don't like reading from Reddit because you get very different statements from people just like you and I. I need a credible source. BBC, that will work. The British Broadcasting Company. All right. So from BBC News, we shall read about the Tromp family. The mystery of a tech-free road trip gone wrong. A family of 5 disappeared on a tech-free road trip, only to turn up one by one after a week-long odyssey of more than 995 miles, which ended with a police investigation and 2 of them in psychiatric care. This was a missing person mystery that held Australia spellbound, writes Trevor Marshalla. Marshallese. The Tromp family were by all accounts a normal, hardworking household. I told you this case is so weird. It's a disappearance case, but it's probably unlike any disappearance case we've gone over so far. Mark Tromp, 51, and wife Jacoba, 53, had established a successful red currant farm, an earth moving business at their property in Sylvan, on the outskirts of the Victorian capital, Melbourne. So we're in Australia, but with little warning, on Monday, August 29th, they and their three adult children, Rihanna, 29, Mitchell, 25, and Ella, 22, got into a car and headed north. They didn't just leave their family farm, they had fled. Police later called to the home to investigate. Police later called to the home to investigate, found passports, credit cards, and mobile phones had been left behind. There was to be a cash only. This was to be a cash only, off the grid road trip with no way of being followed. I like how it says police later called to the home to investigate. Why? Did someone report them missing? Did the rest of their family try to contact them? Because I kind of need context here. We can't just assume. This is a case, a disappearance case. I need details here. Why were the police just like? Obviously, the police weren't randomly. You know what I mean? It was later revealed Mark and Jacoba had been suffering increasing signs of stress and paranoia. According to media reports, at least one of them had become convinced someone was out to kill them and take their money. Hmm. The only phone not left behind belonged to Mitchell. He appeared to be the only one in the family not swept up in the belief that they were in danger. He later said he had gone along to ensure they would all be safe, but that his parents became increasingly delusional and hard to tolerate. Like, I'm wondering if, like, what type of, like, delusional are we talking about? Like, Mitchell just being like, my parents are absolutely insufferable right now. And, like, they usually do this, but it's, like, just a tad bit, like, delusional, but he can't really tell the difference. Or if it's, like, full on delusional and he's just kind of like, guys, you need to calm down. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but this is weird even for you. Some 30 kilometers away from home, they made him throw his phone out the car window. Okay, so oddly enough, I get my answer in the next sentence, right? He finds out that they're just absolutely paranoid and batshit crazy delusional. They were apparently convinced it was being used to track them. Oh yeah, batshit delusional. The family drove an Ellis Silver Peugeot. What is that? Peugeot. Peugeot? Is that an Australian car? I've never heard of that. Peugeot SUV through that first day and night until reaching New South Wales town of Bathurst, 800 kilometers away to west of Sydney. It was there at 7 o'clock on Tuesday that Mitchell left the family. Okay, Mitchell, I totally get. I love that I get notifications when I'm in the middle of a video, but yet I'll be sitting there doing absolutely nothing and it won't go off. Okay, so Mitchell leaves his family. So to this point, however, I have questions because I always ask the questions that nobody else asks. Who else in this family is displaying signs of delusion besides the parents? He has what, a brother and a sister? I've already forgotten their names. Rihanna and Ella. So I'm going to assume Rihanna is it's Riana. I'm going to assume that's a girl. Have they shown signs of paranoia? Also, Mitchell, if they haven't, why are you leaving your two siblings behind with your parents, who you can clearly tell are delusional. They threw your phone at the fucking window. That's not normal, right? That's probably not normal behavior for them. So I don't know. I think Mitchell's just kind of like, you guys are crazy. Like, I can't believe you. Why would you do that? Why would you throw my phone at the window? I'm out of here. Like, honestly, because I just don't. I think he's just going through the motions. Again, maybe I'll get answered the next. And then there were four. Later on Tuesday morning, the remaining four Tromps headed east from Bathurst to a popular tourist spot, the Jenolan Caves. It was there that Rihanna and Ella decided to also part from their parents. Okay, now it's getting interesting. So, again, not only am I asking the questions that no one else is asking, but I'm asking them and I'm getting answers, God damn it. So, apparently, Rihanna and Ella are like Mitchell. They're not paranoid like their parents, and they're like, Mother, Father, we out. Peace. The two sisters drove south to the town of Goulburn, where they reported their parents had gone missing. Wait, what? What do you mean your parents have gone missing? You just left them. Like, what are you trying to pull here? The story made its way into the media, and the bemused Australian public wondered how a family could have become so strangely separated and separately lost on what was at first thought to have been a driving holiday, and in their own country. This was not remote territory, not the vast Australian outback. At all times they were close at all times they were close to large towns. In Goulburn, Rihanna and Ella decided to part ways at Patrol Station, with Ella saying she wanted to go home to feed her horses. She became the first Tromp to be located when she arrived back at the family farm on Tuesday night and found police there. Mitchell having taken a series of trains. I told you it was bizarre, but it's like really good bizarre. Like, they didn't have to do any of this probably, but yet they did. And why? That's the biggest question. Like, as a family, let's go out as a family. Mitchell, you guys are being delusional and weird. I'm out. The two sisters, we out. Our parents are missing. Hey Rihanna, I'm gonna go to the next town over. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go back home and feed my horses. And then Mitchell gets back to the lake. And then there were three. While Mitchell and Ella appeared reasonably unaffected mentally, the same could not be said of Rihanna. She had climbed into the back of a utility vehicle in Goulburn and was only discovered there by the male driver after he had driven almost an hour away. He pulled over and found Rihanna to be in what he called a catatonic state, saying she did not know her name nor where she was. Curveball! Okay, let's go back up for a second. Whose car did they take when they first drove? Who had that weird ass car? Oh, it was Ella's car. Okay. Okay. So I think we know the next question I'm going to ask, which is probably going to get answered in the next paragraph. Did Rihanna know how to drive? What, I'm so confused here. As a family, they left in one car, right? Was that Ella's car? Whose car did they originally get into? So the two parents left. They left the two parents. So am I to believe that the family drove an Ellis Silver Peugeot SUV? Okay. That first night, day and night. Okay. So Ella's the only one with means of transportation here. So if they got around elsewhere in another vehicle, who the fuck knows how they did it? So Ella left her sister. Peace, sis. I'm going home. And eventually Ella is just completely, or Ella, not Ella, Rihanna is just completely like, yeah. Rihanna was later taken to Goulburn Hospital, where she remains in psychiatric care. Police say she has been spared charges over the stolen vehicle for mental health reasons. Ella, however, has been charged with car theft. Wait, what? Hold on. Okay, I kind of skipped the Trump's family journey, because I didn't think it was relevant, but I was going to read back to it, but we need to read it now, apparently. Okay, here is the Trump's journey, their family journey. 1. Sylvan, family leave for home on August 29th, a Monday. 2. At Warburton, 30 kilometers down the road, Mitchell throws out his mobile. Wait a minute. His parents told him to throw out the mobile, but according to this now, he threw it out. Ah. 3. Bathurst. Mitchell leaves the family on August 30th, the following day, which was Tuesday. 4. Rihanna and Ella leave their parents at Jenolan Caves, steal a car, and drive to Goulburn. Oh, wait, what the freak? Wait, okay. Okay, again, my questions get answered. I love that my questions are being answered. This doesn't happen at all for me. So I love this for me. But I have questions. 5. Wang Wangaratta, suspected of sighting suspected sighting of Mark on August 30th, Wednesday. 6. Yaz, Jacoba Tromp found wandering streets on September 1st, Thursday. 7. Wangaratta, Mark Trump found near airport on September 3rd. Rihanna was later taken to Goulburn Hospital, where she remains in psychiatric care. Police say she has been spared charges over the stolen vehicle for mental health reasons. Ella, however, has been charged with car theft. Okay, I'm gonna get the I'm gonna ask the question, and it's probably gonna get answered for me because so far we 3 for 3 here. We are 3 for 3, and I love it. Ella, sweetie, why'd you steal the car? Is your car with your family, with your parents? So what would possess a person who what would possess a person who has their vehicle to just randomly steal a car with their sister? Do you want to get away from your delusional parents that badly? You yourself are clearly exhibiting delusional behavior by wanting to steal a car when the family took your very car to get where you are now. And then there were 2 left. As media interest grew and an interstate search began, Mark and Jacoba, that is the parents, drove back toward Melbourne from the Jenolan Caves. In what? In Ella's car? Okay, so let's just assume for a second that this is Ella's car, which I presume it is. So that means Ella left her car with her parents and for whatever freaking reason said, hey sis, let's go steal a car so we can get away from our delusional parents. This was 2016. Uber existed. Did Australia not have Uber? Taxis existed. Trains and subways and Hitchhiking even exists still, which creeps me out, and it's not as big as it was in the 70s. Thank God for that. But there are other means of transportation. Why are you stealing a car? Why is that the first thing you think of? We need to get back home. I'll steal a car. If you've never been a criminal before, why are you now exhibiting criminal behavior all of a sudden? Also, why did the sister agree with this? Is that why she was catatonic and found in the back of a dude's car? Because she was just like completely traumatized by not only her delusional family, by her brother abandoning her. Ugh, I can't talk. By her brother abandoning her, but also by the fact that her sister was like, "Hey, let's steal a car." No wonder she was catatonic in the back of some random person's car. A day later, on Wednesday, 600 kilometers south in the Victorian town of Wangaratta, they too became separated. Do you know what a family vacation means? Family outing, family trip. It means you leave as a family and you stay and you stick around and you have a good time as a family. You know what it doesn't mean? I'll tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean separating one by one after the other, until it's just the two parents. And then, even then, they're like, "Peace, honey. Peace, husband." Jacoba headed north again, by means which are still a mystery, and was found the next day, 350 kilometers away in Yaz, wandering in an agitated state. I have a theory already, but I'm going to keep it to myself. She was taken to a hospital there and later moved to Goulburn to be with her daughter Rihanna as the pair continued mental health treatment. Okay, so out of the how many family members? Out of the six family members, yes, three family members? I'm confused already. Five? Five. God, I can't even keep count. Can't even keep track anymore. I'm getting delusional just reading it. Just reading this shit. Rihanna, Ella, Mitchell, Mark, and Jacoba. Okay. So out of the five of them, the mother and one of the daughters, Rihanna, are in a are in the hospital being treated for mental health. Totally normal. Mark had stayed in Wangaratta after dangerously tailgating a young couple. He was seen fleeing from Ella's Pioga. Okay, so okay, this story's absolutely crazy. But Justin, you said that they disappeared. They did. They all disappeared from themselves, from each other, and then like literally themselves because they're mentally not there. So Mark, who's now literally by himself, is tailgating a couple, and he flees from his daughter's car. This, you know what I feel bad for? Ella's car. Ella's car didn't ask for this. Ella's car was like, "I like this. A nice family trip, nice family outing. This is going to be fun." Oh, what the hell's up with Mitchell? Whatever. It's still a great family fun. Ella. Ella, you're my owner. Where are you going? And you're taking Rihanna. No, what? You're leaving with your parents? Okay. This is fine. This is fine. Where's Jacoba? Mark, where are you going? Like the Ella's poor car. Probably so confused. I've never felt more bad for a vehicle than I do with Ella's Pioga SUV. Police also began investigating a number of break-ins in the town, including at a motel, though it's unclear if they were related. I would hope not, because otherwise, what is happening? Oh, I think this is a picture of Mitchell and Ella. Mitchell looks like the type of guy that would just be like, "I'm out of here." Although Ella's not what I pictured. I pictured her like a little younger. Back at Sylvan, Mitchell and Ella made an emotional appearance before the media, saying they were baffled by their parents' paranoid behavior. Okay, Mitchell got out of there before shit got crazy, right? So, you know what? I believe in Mitchell said it. But Ella, sweetheart, you left your car with your parents, your paranoid parents. You left your car with them, and you stole a vehicle with your sister. So who else is paranoid here, huh? Huh? I've never seen anyone like this or anyone conduct themselves in this way. I just really want my dad to be found, Mitchell said. He's not dangerous. He's my mate, my father. I love him. Well, Mitchell, if that were true, then why did you just leave? You just up and left your family. You're like, I don't want to be a part of this family get together. I'm out. He was questioned by police, assessed by a mental health officer. Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead. The last family member found. So to this point, two are in the hospital, two are back home. Where the husband at, right? Where is Mark? Where you at, Mark? Where you at? The last piece of the unusual puzzle was put into place on Saturday evening, 6 days after the episode began, when Mark Tromp was found beside a road near Wangaratta Airport. He was questioned by police, assessed by a mental health officer, then released into the care of his police officer brother, showing the middle finger to photographers as he was driven away. There is so much in that sentence to unload. Holy crap. I'm having fun, aren't you? I'm having way more fun with this episode than I ever thought I would. Let's read this sentence again, okay? Because it's absolutely amazing. The last piece of the unusual puzzle was put into place on Saturday evening, 6 days after the episode began, when Mark Tromp was found beside a roadside in Wangaratta Airport. He was questioned by police, assessed by a mental health officer, because they had to bring one, because if two of them are in the hospital for mental issues, the other two seem fine, then naturally, like, well, he's the man of the house. Like, he's got to be exhibiting mental paranoia. Then released into the care of his police officer brother, which I love how we're just now finding out he has. Then showing the middle finger to photographers as he was driven away. Mark, why are you going so hard right now? What? We don't understand why you're giving the middle finger. We don't. Your well-being was a cause of concern here. They found you, and you thank them by flipping the bird, and we don't know why. Again, I have a theory, but yeah. He later released a more contrite statement, apologizing for the hurt and concern caused by these events. He paid respect to the community resources devoted to his family's aid as the public attempted to make sense of the drama. You and me both. You and me both, town. Police do not believe there was any real threat to the family. I mean, oh, that's right. I totally forgot. The whole reason they took this wonky ass road trip was because they were paranoid that somebody was following them and was plotting to kill them. One investigating police officer from the Sylvan district described it as the most bizarre case I've ever seen in 30 oh, the most bizarre case I've seen in 30 years. Sergeant Mark Knight, who knows the family, said they had no diagnosed mental health problems. There was no evidence of drug taking, as some social media theories had suggested. The family had no debts and did not belong to any religious groups. I love that last part. Religious groups. I'm putting the quotation marks on that one. You know what that really says. They weren't drinking any Kool-Aid, let me put it that way. If you know, you know. There is no speculation the road trip was sparked by a rare psychological condition known as folie douce, a collective delusion. Folie douce, like the second Joker movie that was an absolute bomb. This is more entertaining than Joker 2. That's not even a hot take. That's just a freaking fact. This is just massive meltdown. I'm sure of it, Sergeant Knight said. Mitchell and Ella Tromp admitted it was hard to explain. If we don't get any theories or any explanations at the end of this, I'm going to make my own. But if there's still no logical explanation for it, then I might reach out to Mitchell and Ella Trump myself and be like, hey, I just looked into your family's case and I want answers, okay? I sacrificed over an hour of my time to look into your family's bizarre ass case and mental states. I want to know the truth. I've never seen anything like it. It's really hard to explain or put a word on it, but they were just fearing for their lives. And then they decided to flee, Mitchell said. It was a buildup of different normal everyday events, just pressure, and it slowly got worse as the days went by. Okay. Okay, what? They were just fearing for their lives and they decided to flee. It was a buildup of different normal everyday events, just pressure, and it slowly got worse as. Okay. So I don't know about you, but when I get stressed out and pressured, which happens to literally everybody, but when I get stressed out to the max and pressured and shit, I don't then think to just leave my home and just take off and not freaking tell anybody. Though I absolutely could, and I doubt anyone would probably try to go and find me. Although it's probably one person that would, because I got to work. Um, but like, this isn't about me. This is about the Tromp family. But I don't understand how like a buildup of different normal everyday events and pressure adds up to they felt they were fearing for their lives. We don't all fear for our lives every single freaking day, Mitchell. Some of us, sure, if we're assassins, hitmen, no bad people, etc., etc., but while some ponder whether the family may have been affected by chemicals used on their farm, media reports say police are also contemplating whether the family suffered from collective delusions in an episode of Folie à Deux. So I winked there at the whole chemical thing because that was my theory that I had come up with early on. I felt that perhaps something on the estate, the farm, or in their house was causing them like mass hysteria. But again, only the two parents really truly exhibited the issues. Although you could probably say Rihanna because, being found catatonic in some random person's car is probably something must have caused that. In the French term meaning madness of two, covers a rare psychological condition occurring almost exclusively in close knit families. So the two parents. It was originally coined to describe a 19th century French couple who began exhibiting paranoid and delusional behavior. While doctors were unable to tell which of them had become psychotic first, it was clear they had fallen into a cycle of reinforcing each other's delusions. Oh, okay. Before I read any further, I am going to go on a whim here and say that Mark Tromp was the one that was feeling the pressure, was stressed out. Not sure what he does. Oh, that's right. That's right. They both work. It's a family company, right? Okay. Okay. And we're done after this. After this last couple sentences. The full reasons for the Tromp's very public meltdown might never be known, however. Police say no further charges are expected to be laid, and that the issue is now simply a family affair. Mitchell and Ella Tromp, I am going to try to find you on social media. Do not be alarmed. It's just me doing my due diligence as an amateur sleuth investigator doing Mystery Unsolved to find out what in the absolute fuck happened to you and your family. Holy freaking crap. Okay. We have a couple theories, right? We do. We have a couple theories. All right. Theory number one is the one that we're going to call Folie à Deux, which is not the second Joker movie, which this is better than Joker 2, and that is a fact. Folie à Deux is a condition where two people feed off of each other's delusions, right? That is theory number one. Theory number two, chemicals at their house or on their property led to them saying, hey, we got to get out of here. There are people after us, right? Three, Mark Tromp is just so stressed out, more stressed out than any human could possibly ever be, that he decides to have his family and him take a road trip so he can just start doing weird shit. But technically, four of them did. They didn't. Mitchell's the only one to me, aside from talking about his father as, he just needs help or whatever. But Mitchell's kind of the only one that didn't really do anything. Right? He didn't really do anything. He got out of there before it got crazy. Jacoba left her husband. Mark was flipping off people after they found him. Ella stole a car, and Rihanna was catatonic in a stranger's car. Like, that's not normal behavior. So I don't know that it's really Folie Deux, because I think Ella and Rihanna are also delusional here. You don't just steal a car and you don't just go catatonic. So I think perhaps it's not Folie Deux. So we get the three theories. Is there a fourth here? Maybe they just wanted, as a family, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but then again, this entire case has been absolutely batshit crazy ridiculous. So is it really? The fourth theory is, this is my personal theory. Do I believe this? No, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. Maybe they never did shit as a family, and they were like, hey, let's go on a road trip, but let's like kind of make it like an unsolved mystery. Let's really get into it, Let's all leave at once, and then let's just exhibit weird and strange behavior. The town might come looking for us. Oh my God, it'll be great. Like I said, I don't believe that, but I have to at least throw it out there and entertain it. So what do we think? What in the actual hell happened with the Tromp family? Did Mark Tromp just have a complete nervous and stressful breakdown and cause all of this? Was it Folie Deux? Was it chemicals on the property and in the home that perhaps caused out of the five to exhibit strange behavior? Or is it the fourth one where I said they just thought, hey, let's have a nice family outing and let's have a nice little unsolved mysteries and let's fuck with the town? I personally think it's the third one, the chemicals. This article leans towards Folie Deux, but that just explains the family. That just explains the parents. Mark Tromp is clearly delusional. Jacoba, the wife, clearly delusional as well. However, also, Ella steals a fucking car and leaves her sister, who gets into a catatonic state and hops in a stranger's car. And then she's taken to a mental hospital for mental evaluation. Those two things are not normal. So therefore, I don't think it's Folie Deux, because Folie Deux is two people. This is four people. Mitchell, you're exempt, even though I don't really like your explanation about your father, but nothing I can do about that, is there? I think that perhaps, again, they work on a farm. Maybe they work with chemicals. Maybe they mix manure with some crazy shit you shouldn't. I don't know. They mixed with chemicals. It got into this isn't new. Maybe they ingested chemicals. Mitchell, for whatever reason, is like, I feel fine. I'm out of here. And that's why he kind of cut bait with his family. Meanwhile, the other four, I think Mark Tromp, because this is probably his business. This is his baby. So he probably exhibited the biggest delusions of all. Then Jacoba, his wife. And then the daughters, I think also, yeah. So I'm going to go with 3. And again, I am actually going to try to reach out to Mitchell and Ella Tromp. If they turn me down, that's totally fine. I just feel I have to do my due diligence here. I want answers. I worked hard for the last 40 plus minutes on this case. God damn. Maybe I should have made this the season finale because holy crap, this was a good episode. What do you think happened to the Tromp family? Tromp, not the other people. Do you think it was one of the 4 theories I came up with? Do you think there's a 5th theory? Do let me know in the comments below. And of course, if for any reason you're not following already, hit subscribe on the bottom if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, well, I guess maybe reach out to me regardless. And then hop over to YouTube after and follow me. uh, I do hope you enjoyed this episode of Mystery Unsolved. Like I said, I'm unsure if this will in fact be the season finale. But after the fun I've had tonight, my God, it should be. Oh, man. For Mystery Unsolved, I'm Justin Bienvenu. Until next time.